A Ceremony of Gifts and Powers, Chapter 3. W.L. White III, World Internet News, New York, USA, Earth. W.L. speeds through the streets of New York. He is desperately racing to the UN building. The radio is broadcasting reports of a futuristic man from space landing at the UN HQ. Once W.L. arrives at the UN building, there's complete and utter pandemonium. Every media outlet in the city fights for the perfect position. W.L., over here! It's Charlene, his camera woman. I'm set up and ready to record, OG, she says while scrambling her way through the overly crowded mezzanine. I thought I told you to stop calling me OG. Have you seen the Spaceman? W.L. asks as he tries his best to keep up with her. A hand reaches out and pulls him through the crowd. It's Charlene, and she points at something while replying. See for yourself, and welcome to the future, OG, Charlene says with a wicked grin on her face. W.L. watches as Intech walks across the courtyard. He's completely at a loss for words. Charlene has to snap W.L. out of his daydream while handing him a microphone, motioning for him to do his job and report. Quickly correcting and adjusting his tie, W.L. begins reporting on the event. Good evening, New York City, and welcome to World Internet News. I'm W.L. White III, and we are live today at the UN HQ. A man has landed on Earth from outer space. He is claiming to harbinger a message of an alien invasion to Earth. He states his name is Intech, and he was recently chaperoned into the UN HQ. He is currently being detained in a secure holding cell. All attending dignitaries have been alerted, and embassy leaders are awaiting further instructions. The human race now has reason to believe that man is not alone in the universe. World scientists are demanding that Earth's leaders approach this situation with extreme caution. After the press conference, W.L. begins compiling recent information of Intech's arrival. Once Charlene hacks the security cameras, W.L. is able to monitor Intech's actions. While monitoring the security cells, Intech accesses the internet using an advanced holoquartz technology. After several minutes of working with the technology, Intech establishes an advanced virtual college online. He refers to the college as an information inquiry matrix, beta version 1. IQ_matrix.beta/earth/science/technology.theory. This technology will grant Earth's leading scientists an opportunity and the necessary exposure to create advanced and theoretical scientists. If we are to survive are the words currently greeting those that access the IQ matrix. There are category tabs in the IQ matrix that W.L. can't access. He did, however, notice that data is accessible in over 3,000 languages. Once a user receives authorization, a notification will be generated by the IQ matrix, which will include the user's login credentials. The list includes top government officials, military personnel, scientists, inventors, and engineers from every country around the world. While W.L. watches the IQ Matrix tutorial, a live video stream begins with a Texas senator. He is filing a petition with the county clerk at the U.S. Court of Federal Claims. Government agencies and several private organizations have come forward. Intech is being accused of revealing proprietary secrets and exposing information to the general public. Several of these files are currently classified above POTUS, President of the United States. Agencies are furious Intech is not adequately being detained. While confined to his cell at UNHQ, cameras stream video of Intech disabling the locks. As several agents attempt to apprehend him, their weapons malfunction and they're incapacitated. While navigating through the UNHQ, cameras show him addressing multiple people. A levitating translucent screen hovers near Intech as he calls names of individuals that should immediately report to the Security Council chamber. Agents are no longer attempting to detain him, aware of the results when any attempt is made to stop Intech. A source within the UNHQ claims Intech removed the holoquartz helmet and appears to be a human male of Afro-Euro descent. His warnings of an alien invasion are being dismissed as fake news by leading government officials. A UNHQ spokesperson has stated, for the record, all UN officials are requiring evidence of the war coming to Earth. The leading scientists are attempting to prove how Intech is able to achieve his extraordinary abilities. Jonathan Watson, Magnetosphere, Electromagnetic Field, Earth Orbit, Milky Way Galaxy. The universal forces that repel magnets with equal polarities protect the planet by deflecting the sun's harmful radiation. A unique energy signature randomly spikes throughout the magnetosphere. An alien object not of this reality expands into a male humanoid form, siphoning energy from the magnetosphere. A white cyanotech alloy encases the humanoid form, while blue Q quartz protects the head and face. As construction of the exoskeleton nears completion, the orb wielder slumbers. As he wakes from days of celestial gestation, he's stunned by his surrounding location. What feels like a dream to him has become a reality. He immediately recalls the Imperial Codex, a series of programs embedded in the orb. It is a biocelestial genome capable of upgrading and amplifying neurological and cellular control centers. It enhances all biological networks and systems within a form. He recalls the omniversal gift that is bestowed to him, and he is aware that a great enemy is coming to Earth. The bioengine inverter NRG has become his new heart. I am one with the pulse, he thinks to himself. He is gifted with an uncanny and unbelievable power. Pulse's power is photon-based and grants him the ability to manipulate and control electromagnetics, EM. Pulse recalls the events of the ambush on the local PCPD at the Cove. His partner Carl took a bullet to the abdomen, and then Officer Watson experienced nothingness. In a sudden burst of power, Pulse descends to Earth at near faster-than-light FTL speed. He is unsure of his partner's fate. It is highly possible Carl did not survive. With thoughts of Carl's condition, Pulse vanishes in a burst of electromagnetic radiance. Instantly, he appears over the islands of Hawaii. Yes! He shouts as he plummets towards the island. Even with knowledge of his abilities, this is incredibly new to Pulse. A few days ago, he was a policeman. Today, he is an enhanced human capable of teleporting. Pulse hovers above the cove, bracing himself for the bad news. As he lands in front of the bar, a few civilians pull out their phones. When he walks into the bar, every customer freezes in their tracks. Several of the people whisper with excitement as each discuss the new spaceman that just arrived. When Pulse releases the Q quartz from his face, a young woman stutters, "John, is that you?" The waitress doubts her eyes while approaching him. "Yes, it's me, Cicely," Pulse answers with a smile on his face. Even as he inquires about Carl, Cicely screams at the top of her lungs. Relief washes across her face as she releases a barrage of questions. "Is there going to be an alien invasion? How many of you are there?" Another customer intrudes with her own inquiries. "Are you here to protect the Earth too?" Pulse barely hears what the intruding woman asks. Carl's health is his first concern. "Where did they take Carl? What did you say, ma'am?" Pulse asks with a bewildered look on his face. The woman motions for him to look at the television. A local news station is running a continuous story of a man arriving from outer space. He is at the UNHQ discussing an impending attack from outer space with world ambassadors. W.L. White III, World Internet News. Portable IQ Matrix, Earth. W.L. admires a case of highly advanced equipment. He is one of the few chosen to receive this new technology. A being believed to be from outer space arrived 2 days ago claiming to be human. This new software guarantees no lag streaming through state-of-the-art technology. The IQ Matrix is a more secure network. It is AI interactive and designed to interface with the human mind, capable of coordinating global movements. It further extrapolates any and all data referencing a query. It is highly recommended all citizens sign up for IQ Matrix accounts. Even now, WL wonders, is this man truly here to prepare Earth for an intergalactic war? A story of a second enhanced human passes across WL's IQ tech. It's being reported that a local officer of the Pearl City Police Department, PCPD, in Hawaii has resurfaced. The officer was believed to have been assassinated after a gang ambush. A local woman posted a picture on social media with the new spaceman. The picture is tagged with the caption, #Pulse. When local reporters caught up with Pulse, he stated that he is merely an enhanced version of man. After inquiring about a fellow officer, witnesses state he simply vanishes. Even as WL envisions the moment, he allows the words to slip from his lips. Earth has superhumans. Once WL completes the tutorial, the IQ Matrix tunes to a live stream at the UNHQ. Intech discusses implementing global security strategies and protocols to protect the solar system. After a majority vote from world leaders, Intech's proposal is denounced and the alien invasion considered nonsense. While Intech attempts to plead his case to the UNHQ, a second enhanced human materializes in the auditorium. WL notices that Intech and Pulse don't appear to know one another. Everyone present watches in silence as the two men from space greet one another. I am Intech, wielder of the Imagined Nation. I am Pulse, wielder of the NRG. After the two enhanced humans greet, Pulse reiterates on behalf of Intech's proposal. After an agreement is reached, it is voted that the enhanced humans be vetted. It is decided that the National Security Agency, NSA, will lead all investigations concerning the enhanced humans. Now that the world's governments and military officials have voted on Phase 1 of the Oscillation Barrier Initiative, locations for building foundations and infrastructures are next on the list. Intech recommends a proposed timeline which prioritizes how the world should proceed forward. The Earth should immediately institute a global defense initiative for unprecedented extremes. Intech states contact with alien life forms is imminent to Earth's future. The human race must establish a planetary defense capable of destroying any extraterrestrial societies that would target our world. WL sits at his desk reading the new equipment manual, knowing the world will never be the same. Muergg Collins, 25 degrees north by 71 degrees west. Bermuda Triangle, stratosphere, elevation 15.78 miles, Earth. A storm brews in the lower regions of the stratosphere. Sparks of temporal energy spill forth from nothingness. An alien object of improbable power is the cause for this storm. The Bermuda Triangle has remained shrouded in mystery for centuries. Theorists believe it is a nexus to otherworldly realms. At the center of the storm, the alien orb siphons temporal energies, gorging on the transdimensional gateway. It is very ancient and technologically more advanced than anything man has ever seen. As the temporal siphoning comes to an end, slowly the sphere molds into a human female form. A yellow cyanotech alloy spreads across her form, sealing the head and face in crimson Q quartz. As gravity begins to take its toll on her body, the temporal flare subsides and the storm disperses. While falling to the Earth's surface, she awakens. There is no fear on her face. The last thing she recalls from her previous life was standing over home plate. Now, visions of otherworldly destruction and universal chaos dominate her mind. A cosmic orb resides within her chest. It confirms it wasn't a dream. The Imperial Codex grants her with an awareness of the impending danger. Even while she continues falling to Earth, she recalls a warning to an imminent and horrible future. Even as she falls from the stratosphere, she can see temporal trajectories, quantum stabilities, and ripple effects. For days, she has endured temporal isolation and accelerated perceptions. She has been gifted with the omniversal bioengine inverter, Time. It empowers its wielder with temporal manipulation and accelerated dexterity. Friction is who she is now, and her job is to help save all of creation. As temporal energy expands from her orb, time slows to a crawl. She moves effortlessly to the surface, along the particles saturating the atmosphere. While her temporal field is active, she perceives time in fractions of a second. Even water cannot escape the effects of friction's temporal field, trapping all that is slave to time in the presence of her field. After landing on the water's surface, she looks around to properly acclimate herself. She has changed and is no longer 17 years of age. She now physically appears to be an adult. The excitement is almost too much to bear as she releases screams of joy. Thoughts of home and her parents come to mind. She knows they are hopelessly depressed right now. Even with a bioengine inverter for a heart, she can still feel her parents' loss. As the bioengine calibrates for atmospheric conditions, she speeds across the ocean's surface. Time appears to move in slow motion. She runs so fast that a huge spray of mist forms in her wake. Friction doesn't slow down until she sees the El Paso City sign. Once Friction reaches the front door of her home, she collapses the temporal field and time resumes normally. Allowing the Q quartz to drip from her face, she knocks on the door. Her father answers, and screams of joy echo through the house. Meme? Tears pour from his face as her mother rushes to the door. Her mother stares at her daughter, relieved that Muergg has returned. Friction can see the disbelief and excitement in her mother's eyes. A smile spreads across Friction's face once she's snuggled in her mother's embrace. There is fear and panic in her mother's voice when she speaks. "Mimi, does it hurt? What happened? How did this happen to you?" Her father interrupts as he wraps his arms around his family. "Let's get inside. There's a storm coming," her father says while motioning his family into the house. A sandstorm lingers in the distance, drifting in the direction of El Paso. "I prayed that you would return when the other two spacemen came back home, Meme." With a puzzled look on Friction's face, she asks about the others. "What other two spacemen?" W.L. White III, World Internet News, Portable IQ Matrix, Earth. While familiarizing himself with the new IQ equipment, WL is alerted to abnormalities registering on the new equipment. A major sandstorm has swept over El Paso, Texas, causing multiple accidents on I-10. Several eyewitnesses claimed that a yellow blur whisked past during traffic, and minutes later they were overtaken by the storm. The atmospheric barometer doesn't show any predicted sandstorms for the location. With the appearance of a second enhanced human, UNHQ authorities believe in the possibilities of a third. Since WL's satellite access is still pending, he won't be able to continue the investigation. A local woman in El Paso claims she saw a woman in yellow high-tech armor in her neighborhood. In the Gulf of Mexico, a huge spray of water has painted the horizon in a spectacular array of rainbow colors. Several sailors yachting near the location uploaded pictures of a rainbow sunset. After the IQ matrix extrapolates all entries from social media networks and other resources, a close-up of the pictures reveals a footprint in the water. This weather abnormality is believed to have originated somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle today. He thinks to himself, "No way, there are 3 enhanced humans?" As a live feed streams the female's arrival, WL's eyes are glued to the screen. "I am Friction, wielder of the time. I have come forth to assist the 2 harbingers with saving the world." While watching Friction speak, WL marvels at Earth's new superhumans. Additional details of Friction are being uploaded to the screen. She is the high school student that vanished a few days earlier. The UNHQ authorities are now suggesting enhanced humans provide proof of birth and citizenship to the government. Each have agreed to release and upload all necessary documents to the IQ matrix. Intech continues to release elemental formulas and chemical compounds, data that will assist scientists with creating and designing cutting-edge technologies. The UNHQ is requesting volunteers from any man or woman that is educated in a mechanical and/or technological field to please take the IQ matrix evaluation exam. The POTUS and world leaders have been at UNHQ discussions for several days. The enhanced human development now answers the long-debated question, is there life amongst the stars? Intech is the first enhanced human to make contact with man. He brings a global warning of an alien invasion to Earth, but he has not produced any visual data of the invading species. With the appearance of a third enhanced human, the world's governments are taking the threat of aliens seriously. The enhanced humans are currently operating in New York City out of the UNHQ building. Dr. Afanasy Sidorov, Planetary Core. Things are not always what they seem to beings that believe themselves superior to all they know. Every man is clueless to what truly thrives or exists within the universe. Man doesn't even know of the treasures which dwell deep within his world. The Earth has been gifted to human beings. It contains what can only be explained as a singularity. An Ethereum-gelled core emits a quantum signature which resonates in extra-dimensional energy. This has been masked by Earth's electromagnetic field. An omniversal orb vibrates onto the Earth's physical plane of existence. It absorbs energy created by the tremendous pressures and quantum emissions of the Earth's inner core. The orb begins to expand energy into a human male form. Then, it releases a violet cyananotech alloy to coat the form, as a dark crimson Q quartz coats the head and face. The cyananotech's glow fades as the armor completes assembling. Dr. Sidorov awakens with alien memories of quantum symmetry and frequency cohesion. The omniversal bioengine inverter, DIN-Z-T, has come to Earth. Dr. Sidorov knows he is no longer simply a man, but the harbinger Phase. During his neurofeed-induced coma, he gains the knowledge and experience to wield these abilities. He is instantly aware of his current dilemma when he awakes. Any other man would have ceased to exist if they were under such extreme conditions. Before him is a 400-mile pulsating core composed of pure Imperium. The scientist in him screams inside for him to explore, but he's been gone for a few days, and there are things that need to be done. Phase extends the quantum field, allowing his physical form to become immaterial. He then begins his journey to the surface. He can increase his size astronomically, becoming as large as a small moon. If necessary, Phase can also decrease his size to near microscopic scale. His density can be increased until he is nigh invulnerable. Phase can further manipulate particles within the quantum field by altering an object's universal frequency. While Phase propels himself upward through the Earth, his thoughts are of the Imperial Codex's intelligence and data feeds. He is aware of the cosmic complexity of the universe. Its diversity expands further than any mind can fathom. The neurofeed warns of an imminent war that can bring an end to all of creation. Phase recalls the accident aboard the Thermodyne space station. The Den-ZT came through the wormhole and struck him. The station's emergency protocols are to evacuate all non-essential personnel from the station, while security engages any threats. He prays those aboard the space station survived. He believes the threat coming to Earth is his responsibility. He can't allow Earth's destruction because of something that's his fault. While making his way through the various layers of Earth, Phase takes notice of unknown minerals and gas pockets. The scientist in him desires exploration, but there are greater threats coming for his planet. He is unaware of the sequence of events which have occurred during his absence, and wonders if Earth is aware of the threat coming. As thoughts of Delia's love fills his heart, Phase alters his course for home. He can only imagine the suffering she's endured, believing her husband perished in space. He surfaces in the Russian cove near the Bay of Anadir. As shipping boats return to port, sailors notice Phase's arrival from the water. The human eye can't see quantum frequencies, so Phase appears to be an intangible ghost. After arriving at the beach, Phase is greeted by 3 orb wielders that materialize before him. Phase immediately takes a defensive stance, his hands pulsating with quantum energy. As each of the orb wielders steps forward, they individually greet Phase. "Do not be alarmed. I am Intech, wielder of the Imagination. I am Pulse, wielder of the NRG. And I am Friction, wielder of the Time." Phase relaxes his aggressive stance and replies to the orb wielders. "I am Phase, wielder of the Den-ZT." They each radiate great energy. Phase can feel a ceremonial affinity with them. While acknowledging the orb wielders, Phase nods his head and inquires about recent events. "Why have you come to Anadir?" Intech responds to Phase's question. "The orbs we possess are not meant for this planet. When the orbs arrived on Earth, this planet became ground zero for a universal threat. We will need your assistance and the others to save our planet." Grahv'te, Gravitational Anomaly Wave, Magnetosphere, Cancer Influence, Milky Way Galaxy, PU 43200. Since entering this new dimension, Cancer continues to experience chaotic gravitational anomalies. When the planet entered this dimension, its moons were greatly damaged. Only the moon Tri-Q3 remains whole, but it is slowly drifting away from Cancer. The further Tri-Q3 moves away from Cancer, the greater the strain to the planet. Cancer is continuously ravaged by gravitational spasms, resulting in tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and chaotic weather patterns. It will not be long before the planet rips itself apart. An ancient omniversal orb containing unimaginable power tears through this dimension's protective barriers. The orb syncs with this reality's vibrational frequency. It is the bioengine inverter Grahv'te, a cosmic treasure that empowers its wielder with gravitational fluidity. As it siphons energy from the sporadic gravitational anomalies, it molds the energy into the form of a galaxian, while layers of Psi-nanotech alloy spread across the energized form. The face and antennae are layered in Q-quartz. The Psi-nanotech exoskeleton is highlighted with his former trilithium armor. A scream echoes in the night sky. Grahv'te has awakened from his slumber. He remembers the destruction of his planet's black UV star. He recalls the Senior Order's denial of access to the gates of knowledge. Grahv'te believes this to be a cowardice and selfish act. The Imperial Codex has granted Grahv'te with insight of a brand new dimension, a dimension in which multiple worlds thrive in light. Hundreds of thousands of different life forms roam these worlds. There are so many worlds capable of providing nourishment for Cancer. The neurofeed has granted instinctual knowledge of his new power. It further increases his intelligence and galactic awareness. The bioengine inverter has made him so much more than a Galaxian. Grahv'te takes notice of his new armor, marveling at the ingenuity of the exoskeleton. He can feel something has changed within the orbs. They have never been wielded in this manner. He marvels at the power of his new bioengine inverter. Amazed at the reforming of his previous last shell, it now highlights his new last shell. Grahv'te will have to correct the gravitational inconsistencies of Cancer's new environment to save his world. He is angered by the Senior Order's negligent actions in saving their world. It continuously gnaws at him during his waking moments. Grahv'te can see the gravitational flaws of negative particles from the Alpha Cancri star system. The particles arrived in this dimension with the planet when it was swallowed by the Great Scar. Reaching out with his new abilities, Grahv'te relieves the gravitational stresses to the planetary environment. It is only a temporary solution, and Grahv'te can feel it slipping away. He instinctively understands this environment needs more mass. He will need something large enough to stabilize the gravitational instabilities and sustain the environment's ecosystem. Since the Gifts of Power ceremony, he is no longer simply a being of instinct. Grahv'te has been exposed to human ingenuity. Soon, Grahv'te locates an asteroid of sufficient size and mass. With the fate of Cancer and his people at stake, he slowly pulls the asteroid out of its original orbit. The asteroid is nearly the size of Earth's moon. It strains the limits of his power. After great effort and near exhaustion, Grahv'te maneuvers the asteroid into position. Then, with all his power, sends a massive gravitational discharge into the asteroid's core. This intensifies the asteroid's gravitational influence. The new moon's gravity will collect the negative particle debris. They will soon become rings around the planet. After resting in orbit and regaining his strength, Grahv'te returns to the halls of knowledge. Grahv'te is greeted with great praise by scores of his followers. All have witnessed Cancer's planetary realignment, an event which is broadcasted to all through the Xchange network. Now that Grahv'te is aware of new worlds, they will soon bend to his will. He will reacquire the ceremonial orbs, and this dimension will fall before him. Commander Grahv'te, Frequency Distribution Switch, FDS. Xchange, Halls of Knowledge, Cancer, PU 43200. While activating his antenna harness, Commander Grahv'te receives an incoming signal from Grahv'te. After achieving a secure signal, Grahv'te briefs Commander Grahv'te of his plans for Cancer's new universe. Grahv'te has recently amassed great power, more than any Grahv'te in history, even more than an enchanted queen. Commander Grahv'te adjusts the antenna harness from narrowband to wideband signal. Supreme Grahv'te desires to address the newly awakened. The Xchange network maintains high signal traffic for days. Commander Grahv'te begins to relay the signal to the masses, to every Grahv'te on the planet. Counselor Glurt has become a living supreme. The suffering that Cancer endured during the Great Migration is over. All praises to his name, Supreme Grahv'te. All praises to him. The old ways are now over. Long live Supreme Grahv'te! The command to explore Cancer's new galaxy is authorized to Muergg commanders. The massive atmospheric terraforming machines are brought aboard the Muergg Armada. Muergg are the largest biological creatures to ever be recorded by the inhabitants of Cancer, once only indigenous to dimension NU9KAC. They are necessary for the Grahv'te to achieve interstellar travel. It is how Grahv'te are able to conquer other worlds. Once a Muergg is domesticated, it becomes like a creature of the pastures. They will transport Supreme Grahv'te's armies across the stars. Any citizen reported or discovered to be disloyal to our Supreme will forfeit their essence to the beyond. Supreme Grahv'te has chosen a commander for long-range insertion into this new dimension. The once mentor to our Supreme, Commander Trimble, has been chosen. The recon team's primary mission is to locate the planets within the cultivating zone of a star. After locating planets that are within the proper zone, a Muergg will be dispatched to terraform the planet. Commander Trimble also has a secondary mission, which has not been shared with the general public. His mission is to find and locate the Gifts of Power ceremonial orbs. The remaining armadas are to secure a perimeter. It will extend 2 light years from Cancer's new environment. Each armada is tasked with constructing perimeter hives. When the call to arms is given to the masses, the entire society comes forth. The Muergg are boarded with as many volunteers as each can carry. Then, the skies of Cancer become littered with the armada of Muergg rising into the new unknown. Commander Grahv'te relays coordinates from Supreme Grahv'te to Commander Trimble, and the journey begins. Only the most mentally gifted can sway a Muergg. Commander Trimble is no novice and streaks into hyperspace. Commander Grahv'te ends the signal relay with Supreme Grahv'te and is lost in his thoughts. He ponders who will receive an orb. Monet Lagos, upper atmosphere. Photosphere, corona, Earth's sun. The sun incinerates all that is ensnared in its gravitational influence. At 10,000 plus degrees, it provides light and heat to the solar system. An ancient artifact of unknown origin blinks into this plane of reality, discharging sparks of alien energy. The artifact siphons energy from the sun's coronal environment. That energy is molded into a female human form. As a crimson cyanotech alloy streams from the orb, it protects and coats the form. Yellow Q quartz smears across the face, head, and lower abdomen with hair that radiates light, yet does not emit thermal energy. She struggles through her waking moments, overwhelmed with emotions of freeing her sister. She is momentarily stunned and in awe while taking notice of her current surroundings. She is the first human to ever witness this phenomenally exotic and breathtaking view. The Imperial Codex has gifted her with cosmic awareness. It further prepares her mind for evolved thinking. After orienting herself to the solar system, she takes notice of her new form. A smile creeps across her lips. She looks amazing. While admiring her exoskeleton, the message embedded in the Codex gives pause to her vanity. She recalls a universal event that will span the heavens, an event so catastrophic that the Gifts of Power ceremony has inevitably been set in motion. She has received the omniversal bioengine inverter, Kindle, granting her the ability to cause exothermic reactions in most universal substances. She can further control and manipulate the source of any fire exposed to her. Someone previously violated her sister's freedom. They will soon answer to Ember. Her newfound power will ensure her sister is avenged. As she notices the sun moving away from her, Ember realizes she is not a slave to gravity. As the sun continues its journey, Ember scans the solar system and locates Earth. It glows with a beautiful blue aura, the brightest of all the planets in the solar system. She unsheathes the chain machete and strokes the blade as it emits a harmonic sound. An ethereal fire burns along the machete, a fire that burns more than physical matter. The machete sings its name to her. It is holy, a splintered fragment of divine cherub. With her new bioengineered heart, she expands its solar field and blasts off for Earth. The anxiety of her sister's kidnapping is definitely taking a toll on her mental stability. When she is seen from a distance, Ember glows as bright as a star. Even with her streaking across the solar system at top speed, it takes almost an hour to reach Earth. Ember doesn't slow down until she enters Earth's upper atmosphere with only one objective in mind: to save her sister. Fang, Isle of Pluto, Sagittarius, Grahv'te, Alpha Sagittarii, DI-101B09. An immortal being kneels at the grave of his only friend. His name is Fang, of Qi. Fang mourns for his Funtan, a centaur assigned at birth to protect him until death. Fang has been in exile since he was an infant. He has only known Sil, who long ago saved his life from the immortals of paradise. Fang is the rightful heir to the throne. He has been exiled for 1,000 years. The time has come for him to take back what is his. Even now, as Fang kneels at Syl's grave, he reflects on the events which led to her untimely demise. She was mortally wounded when they hunted the winged razorbacks, hogs of the sky that nest on Pluto Isle during the animal's mating season. It is the one time during the year when an alternate source of food can be acquired. The male razorbacks have evolved over the last 500 years into very territorial and extremely aggressive creatures. After trapping a razorback in netting, Fang attempted to subdue the creature. Another male razorback targeted Fang in an attempt to free the captured hog. When Syl noticed the razorback charging Fang, she attempted to block the animal's attack. Her attempt to aid Fang did not go unnoticed, and the razorback changes direction at the last moment. The creature was able to clip Syl's lower legs, but she managed to get the netting around the creature. As Syl cautiously approached the struggling animal, a third razorback attacked and savagely impaled Syl's human half. The creature's tusks ripped through her ribcage, leaving a gaping hole in her chest. An unholy sound wailed out across the afternoon sky as Syl's hemorrhaging form falls to the ground. Fang continues to relive the last moments of Syl's death. His body trembles and shakes involuntarily as tears stream from his eyes. She is all he's ever known during his time in isolation, teaching and training him to one day take back his legacy. Believing when he took the throne back, Syl would still be by his side. He remembers the story she would tell him of long ago. His parents created a haven to welcome the immortals of paradise. Fang's father Ki was once the god of dragons. Dragons are mystical and eternal creatures that guard the portals of ascension. Ki could create amazing creatures by blending life forms together. His favorite and greatest creation is a race of human-horse hybrids designated as centaurs. His mother, Ariel, was a goddess of wind, a first-generation elemental. Ki and Ariel were once immortal royalty before the immortals of paradise arrived on the beaches of Sagittarius, affecting higher intelligence. The immortals arrived in Sagittarius infected with a neurological disease. Fang could only imagine the horror the immortals caused upon their arrival. Syl always explained with fear in her voice, the massacre that befell Sagittarius's lands was genocidal. The arriving immortals somehow became infected with free will, a psionic delusion that mentally incapacitates and degenerates an immortal's higher functions of thinking. It compels them to embrace human desires and ideologies. This ultimately causes immortals to deviate from their celestial responsibilities. During the first wave of arrivals to Sagittarius, Ki and his armies of centaurs fought valiantly against the hordes. The savage immortals raced across the islands of Sagittarius, attacking any that would oppose their rule. Those that ruled in paradise desired to continue their rule in Sagittarius, but this realm was ruled by Ki and Ariel. Millions of Sagittarians perished during the arrival. For days there was anarchy and chaos. When the king and queen fell, their bodies were brutally desecrated and finally fed to the Leviathan. As the Leviathan sank below the waves, the remaining Sagittarians bowed before their new rulers. In the distance, a young Funtan races from the battle, carrying the child of Ki and Ariel to a hidden land. After mourning over Syl's grave for days, Fang finally gathers himself. When he returns to the cave, a letter and a package sit on his bed. The letter is from Syl, explaining the contents of the package, a weapon crafted by her especially for him. He was to receive the gift after they returned from hunting. The package contains a broadsword inscribed with ancient symbols along the blade. The blade contains a glowing gem which emanates a mystical energy. Fang shares an affinity with this ancient energy. This blade is his father's tooth, Gloom, forged in the white flames of the ethereal realm. It is Sagittarius's most powerful weapon. Fang studies the mystical key blade until a sound at the cave's entrance alerts him of an intruder.
Taste my steel.